of Monday. Just about recovered from yesterday, so getting out on the bike for 3 hours today, and then head to the gym, do an hour at the gym, and do an hour of heat training at the gym as well. So yeah, see how that goes. New wheels on the bike, got some new decent alloy rims for this bike, which is going to be training bike now, and then race on the TCR for the rest of the season. I got a Shimano on the front and then a DT Swiss on the back, so see how the DT Swiss hub is. Felt like I was pedalling through treacle at the start. Legs are feeling better now, but yeah, not amazing after yesterday, obviously. Be about 2.5 hours, and then still try and do a heat session later at the gym today. Similar sort of theory to what I did last week, where ramp it up to the first 20 minutes, half an hour, riding tempo, so around 300 watts or high zone 2, 280 sort of thing. And after I reach 38.5 degrees C, start to tail it off. And yeah, I was between 38.5 and 38.7 from 30 minutes all the way to an hour and 10 when I stopped, and then did a 5-minute cool down. Like definitely 40 minutes in heat training zone, but based on the race yesterday, I actually hit a max temperature of 39.3 or 39.4 degrees. So that's higher than the 39 that I got during the ramp test. So that's an indicator that, I mean, part of it's going to be heat adaptation, but most of it's just going to be underdoing it in that ramp test that I did. So 39 degrees is not the true max, and if the max is closer to 39.5, then heat training zone is kind of like 39 degrees C. But you don't want to introduce too much stress from these sessions. Like, I was thinking about it, like, it's all well and good getting to your heat training zone, but if the stimulus you need to do to get there is like such additional training load, like, might not be worth it. Whereas for me, I'm literally just riding tempo / zone 2, so I don't really have to be like, do I have to calm down the training the rest of the week? Because plus I don't want if I'm doing VO2 max efforts to get to temp, then they're going to be like sacrificial quality, like they're not going to be as good as they should be. I don't want to waste VO2 max effort to get into heat temperature, so I kind of like how I'm doing it. It's low training zone stress, but still getting the heat adaptation, I hope. But yeah, think about it over the next few weeks. I'm going to do another heat session on Thursday, so going to be doing 2 heat sessions a week from now on. Guys, it's Tuesday, just popping up 75 minutes on the trainer, just doing zone 2, zone 1, and staying how the legs are, and then head to TomLeeCycling this afternoon and crack on with another race. It's definitely raining there today, so we should dry out a little bit, but yeah, just have to go out and see how it is really, so yeah. First time for everything. Looks like we're actually going to have a chilly evening at TomLeeCycling. Hopefully the rain's all subsided by now and we got it all out of the system. Like, it's been raining a lot, but hopefully the rain's stopped now and track's a bit wet, but get a few laps on circuit, start to dry out during the course of the race. But yeah, it's not warm. Definitely less than 10 degrees and relatively windy, but yeah, just wrap up, get some, put the heat massage oil on, cream on, and yeah, get on circuit and see how we get on. Sun's come out at least. Good race that. Tight field again, just over 10 riders, but the regular folk, you know, whittling it down to a group of 6 of us and working together. So obviously doing a little bit of work on the front, but nothing crazy. Not really trying to attack, just because yeah, I know how hard it is to get away, and it's quite windy today. But it was nice because obviously the conditions weren't great looking at the start. So we started out on a wet track, quite gritty, but yeah, since it stopped raining and sun came out and decently windy, so it was just drying out more and more during the course. So yeah, the conditions were getting better during the race, which is nice. Yeah, attacked with half a lap to go to get the preem sprint at halfway, so managed to secure myself another little prize. But yeah, and thankfully no crazy counter attacks coming after the preem. I mean, I had separation, but was able to just keep it rolling on the front for a couple of laps just to calm it down, rather than some crazy counter attacks rolling over the top of me like that last week. So yeah, just stayed in contention, stayed with the group, and thinking about, okay, if I can win the Prem, I should be able to try and contest for the win, you know. And I tried something new today. I didn't attack early. There was the opportunity to attack with like 3 laps to go, opportunity to attack with 1 lap to go. I was like, okay, we're going to leave it. We've tried that stuff many times before, leading it out on the front, keeping it hard and honest for the last few laps, and haven't managed to win like that in this caliber of race in the 2-3-4. So I'm like, okay, we'll sit in. We'll try and go later. And yeah, probably went too late. You know, I was holding the wheel. Basically last wheel, so 6th wheel coming into that final lap, but would have needed to move up a little bit, I think, to try and be like 3rd, 4th wheel. As there was just too many people to come around in the. You've not got a very long straightaway to sprint it out, so was able to come around one person who was tiring, but yeah, definitely left it too late. So came in for 5th, whereas. Yeah, just positioning on that final lap. So it's that balance between, and the guy who won it did actually go with 1 lap to go, Tom, and I've tried going with 1 lap to go, and like it works for positioning, but guys can come around you. But he was obviously strong enough on the day to hold everyone off, which is cool. It's definitely a balance, like finding just having that race intuition of like when to go, when to attack, you know. And I'm definitely building that over time. But yeah, we tried going late today and it didn't quite work out. But the key's just going to be moving up in those final few laps. So I'm not 6th wheel, even though it's like the guys are in sight. It's not a long enough straight away at the finish to come around that many riders, because you're not going to have a speed differential because everyone's going really fast on that final lap. So you just need to be like 2nd, 3rd, 4th wheel sort of thing to come around the guys. But yeah, good. Nice to get the Bream and made it around on the TCR, so that's good. That's promising. And then back at Darley-Moor on Saturday for cut race there. Isn't she beautiful? Morning guys, it's Wednesday. Doing a TT session this morning, and then gonna actually go out for chain gang this evening. TT session is over unders, so it's going to be 4 by 10 minutes with 5-minute recovery, and the over unders being 40-20. So going to be trying to do 110% of FTP for the overs, and then 80% of FTP for the unders. So aiming for around 420 watts, so 10 mile ideally. What my 10 mile power is going to be in the summer, so like that 410 to 420 range, and then the unders just trying to keep it above 300. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. Also experimenting with some cooling protocols, so chomping down on some slushy this morning. I got a bowl of like ice water slushy there, and some ice water there. Almost finished the slushy, so I'll be monitoring the core temperature. Also, first session with a 170mm crank on the left, 165 on the right. So I'll be comparing the power compared to the kicker core after the session. See what that looks like. Also going to use a second fan, and then also my standard one behind me. I'll open the doors, so just trying to get a standardised protocol of trying to get as cold as possible, really. So yeah, have a go at that. Be interesting. Probably start using the ice vest next week. Just try and get these things down first. Slushy fan, and then can introduce ice vest next week, I reckon. Second breakfast. Finish my warm up with like a ramp, so do a tempo threshold VO2 max little ramp. Then I did 3 sprints, just 3 seated sprints. Reduce the warm up to make sure the legs are activated, and then crack on with the session. Had my caffeine, finished the ice water, finished the slushy. Got some ice water on the right to sip on. Also got my sugar water, little spin, and then crack on with the session. So yeah, see how it goes. Basically just hold above 400 for the overs and above 300 for the unders, and then yeah, just see what we got in the legs really. but should be able to keep to those targets, so that's the main thing. Yeah, see how we get on. The core temp's just above 38, which is pretty standard for like what you'd expect for a zone 2 ride, so not overheated during the warm-up, which is good. Other fan on, and yeah, crack on with the session. Pretty good going for that first over-under session. From the 4 rides, like 370 to 380 watts for each 10-minute effort, progressively getting higher and higher power, I'd say, throughout. So yeah, around 300 for the unders and probably 410 average for each over. So yeah, heart rate not climbing up too much, and core body temperature very much under control, staying at 38 low, when even on a zone 2 ride just outdoors it'll typically get into 38.5. Well, 38.5 to 38.7 is typically my heat training zone, maybe even higher than that now, because I found out the ramp test was a bit of an undershot. But yeah, very under control today. So I did feel like I was working. I mean, the legs feeling quite heavy, so heart rate lower, core body temperature lower. Maybe I had more to give there, but as I get used to this stimulus a little bit, I reckon I'll be able to push harder in the coming weeks. But as a starting point, that's really good, I'd say. So yeah, see what I can do next week instead. So yeah, probably 38.2 to 38.4 for all the efforts. So that's like under heat stimulus. I checked it's still charged. Green light was coming on when I shook it, so it is working. Just yeah, good cooling, I guess. My strategy worked, but yeah, keep refining it as it's not crazy hot today. So as it gets hotter, the cooling protocol is going to become more and more important. But yeah, get used to it now, and then I can keep doing it and keep getting the benefits of being able to push harder in a session, really. Left hamstring was feeling a bit tight during that first set, so I was just being a bit cautious there. Tried to pick up the cadence a little bit more. So obviously I got the longer crank on the left. I made it to the first rest, got out of the saddle a bit, and yeah, seemed to be fine. And to be honest, both legs were a bit twitchy in the quads and the hamstrings. But yeah, obviously being cautious about the stimulus on the left leg, but don't think, I mean, it feels absolutely fine. Maybe a bit more fatigue than usual, but you expect that, but doesn't feel like anything excessive, so that's the main thing. But just keep on top of that, that's the main thing, because yeah, don't want to do anything silly. Heading out to the start of what's going to be my first ever chain go, which is a bit weird because obviously race so much, but because I've been racing, I haven't got involved in any chain gangs, but I think it should be really helpful for the road racing. So yeah, get out. It's meant to be a good one, this group. So yeah, get out there and see how it is. It should be fun. On the steed, it's good fun that. Yeah, it was about 40 minutes since we started, and yeah, I was doing all right. Yeah, still struggling to get on the wheel. Probably should have ridden the race bike. Being on the training bike was a bit of a that didn't help. But yeah, and I ended up cross chaining up this hill, and I felt a big clunk, and I'm like, oh, I must have bent the derailleur hanger, because my derailleur looks all funny. But just stopped to have a look at it now, and it looks okay. So I'm not really sure what's wrong with the derailleur. I don't know if I bent something in the derailleur. Hopefully not. But the hanger looks all right, so I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe, hopefully, it's just out of just needs adjusting the gearing, because the gearing's not right. But yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah, also my heart rate wasn't coming up, which is a bit concerning. Yeah, heart rate was really low in my session this morning, and today I'm doing like big surges and my heart rate's just staying below 160. Yeah, should be getting higher than that. That's a bit strange. Potential symptom of overtraining, so yeah, just need to be careful with that and make sure I'm not digging myself a complete hole. Get back now by myself. Still a decent ride out, to be fair. Don't know what's wrong with you. Managed to limp home on my one kid rear derailleur. Looks like the derailleur itself, like part of the cage, is bent, so I might be able to take that apart and like hammer it back to being straight, or might just have to order a new one. But yeah, got me home, so can't complain. Then I'll just take it apart and have a look at it either tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, but not a fan of this low heart rate stuff. I think it is definitely a symptom of overtraining. Definitely struggling after a big week last week and that really hard race on Sunday that I didn't even finish. But yeah, still fucking hard work. So yeah, I just retired this bike from racing, just finished racing on it, and I'm like, okay, time to start racing on the TCR. Then I go ahead and break this one. Fucking typical, mate. Ugh, fuck's sake. Thing is, you feel so fit. That first session when you get the low heart rate, you're like, oh my god, I'm so fit. And then the second session, you're like, ah shit. I had that all in the same day because I had 2 sessions today. At the first session, I'm like, oh, might be feeling quite good today. And then the second session, I'm like, no, my heart rate should be so much higher here. This is an issue. So yeah, take it easy a couple of days and then racing on at Darley on Saturday. So hopefully I'll be back in the 180s on Saturday. I guess it's Thursday. Gonna get out on the bike for just 2 hours easy. Would have planned to do pretty much the same day as Monday. So get out on the bike for 3 hours in the morning, head to the gym, do an hour at the gym, and then do an hour heat session at the gym. But because of the low heart rate yesterday, I'm wary about potentially overtraining. Like, I feel absolutely fine, but it seems symptomatic of overtraining really, where I'm pushing hard, but the heart rate's just not coming up. Like I said, I feel fine, but maybe if I catch it early, just calm the training down now for a little bit. Well, 2 days. Well, have an easy day today, and then rest day tomorrow, and then hopefully on Saturday my heart rate's back to normal. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Out on the bike, see how we feel today. Just play it by ear really. Did a bit of work on the other bike to try and work out what was wrong with it after yesterday's incident with the mech hanger. I think what happened is my chain was slightly too short, maybe a link or two too short. So when I cross chain for the big ring and then the big cassette in the back, so the 50/28 for this bike, the chain doesn't reach, so I end up getting in that gear. I heard a crunch, the bike locked up, and then I shifted down gear and then kept moving. But I think that crunch caused loads of tension in the system that caused the issues. So the mech hanger's not bent. I've got a new one and compared it to this one, and this one looks absolutely fine. But what had happened is the bolts, it had come slightly loose. So the mech hanger was slightly loose, and then the derailleur itself was actually slightly loose as well. So I think that was what was causing the poor shifting really. Had a look and saw that one of the jockey wheels, there's some damage to it. So I'm assuming this was still some wax on there, but like this bit here. And that bit there, so that jockey wheel was pretty must have got a little bit shredded by by that crunch that I heard. So I took an old tension pulley off an old derailleur that I had, the old one that I was using, the Shimano one, and replaced it with that because that one's all chewed up. Guide pulley is absolutely fine, so I didn't need to do anything with that. And yeah, it looks all aligned to me. I'll need to check when I put the bike back together. Then had a look at the chain, and yeah, there was a few dodgy links. So these ones here, so they're bent out of shape. So I've got old stretch of chain from when I cut this chain. So I'll remove a section of chain and replace it with that section. So probably end up just getting a new chain relatively soon, rather than using this one for much longer, to be honest. Not too well. I've managed to figure out what's wrong, and I should be able to put the bike all back together this afternoon. So that's all good. But getting out on my race bike tonight. So yeah, should have been out on the TCR yesterday anyway. It was way too spicy for me to just be on the training bike in my gator skins and butyl shoes, man. Yeah, I didn't realise it would be that crazy, but yeah. And I was obviously not in the best shape with the heart rate. I mean, like it's so weird because like the power's there, but you just know it's wrong because you're like, I should be at 170, 180 BPM here, but I'm at 155. It's like, no, that's not right. Just finished the ride. Yeah, after yesterday, I was pretty sure as to what was going on. with the potential overtraining, but getting out for this ride just wanted to confirm that really. And it's weird because you naturally you'd look at the numbers, you'd see, oh, my legs feel good, I'm producing decent power, and my heart rate's really low, I must be super fit. And you come to a stop and your heart rate goes down super quickly, and your instinct would be like, I'm in really good shape here. And when guys do like really big training blocks and they talk about how fit they are afterwards, I'm wondering if partly it's this sort of thing where the heart rate drops that much. But I know that if the heart rate's dropping that much and you're losing access to the high end, it's no good really. And I know the high end's not there. I'm not able to get to 170, 180 BPM. So yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of an effort to test if that was the case. So I had like a 1 minute climb where doing good power, like 700 watts. But yeah, the heart rate was just not going up. It got to 160 at the max. And then as soon as I stopped the effort, it dropped back down. Like it didn't keep rising after the effort. Like it should have, that sort of effort, I should have been getting up to high 170s, 180 BPM. And I didn't even crack higher than 160. It capped at one. It was like I was physically capped at 160. I think I'm just losing access to the high end with this potential overtraining. So I'm not even going to go to the gym and do a gym session tonight because I don't think that'll do me any good. Just need to rest up. I think definitely not doing a heat training session tonight. Then just do have a rest day tomorrow, just a 1 hour recovery ride, and I'll still race at the weekend and just see how we go. But there's a good chance that even then my heart rate's still there's some fatigue in the system that's just not being dealt with properly. Okay, it's Friday, just doing an hour zone 1 recovery spin, keep the legs ticking over, and then racing tomorrow at Darley-Moor, so see how we get on. But yeah, hopefully I'm back to normal, but yeah, we'll just have to see. Definitely reducing the volume a little bit this week. After Wednesday, obviously started out the week really strong, and then I'm like, okay, I need to calm it down here. So yeah, just playing it safe the rest of this week. Don't really have a choice. Got some races coming up, so gotta get the work done, prepare for those, and yeah, but still ways away from main races, so not too much to be concerned about really. It seems to have stopped. Hopefully it holds out. It's not feel good. Yeah, we'll probably get on the circuit and see how we get on. The sun's come out already, so I should warm up a little bit, but get out and race, see how we go. Good hard and fast race that, and weather ended up holding out. It's nice and sunny now. It's pretty much nice for the whole time I was on circuit, like a little bit damp to start off with, but dried out during the course of the race. So yeah, it was pretty good conditions, to be honest. And yeah, first 2, 3, 4 race at Darley. So yeah, it was hard and fast. There was attacks rolling constantly, and yeah, I was being pretty good at getting on the wheel and covering those with a bunch of other motivated riders that were getting on the wheel as well. So yeah, attacks just rolling from the get-go, and for the first 30-40 minutes. And yeah, pretty happy with how I was racing it, and got to 180 heart rate, 181 heart rate max. So that was good to see, because yeah, I've been worried about the heart rate this week. So it's good to see that that's able to come up to close to a maximum. Not riding tomorrow, rest day tomorrow, and then see how I feel on Monday if I want to bin off my heat session or not, and then back in Tameside on next Tuesday to race again. So hopefully taking it a bit steadier, the heart rate's come back under control. It's funny saying under control, but I'm wanting the heart rate to be higher, as in that being under control rather than being way too low and doing efforts and just not getting above 160 BPM. So yeah, nice race. Decisive break of 6 went, and I missed the split. I tried. I was thinking, I can attack out of here. I tried a couple of times to attack to them, and too many motivated rides in the peloton. They just get on your wheel, and then you're just doing work on the front. And yeah, there was no cohesion within our peloton. There was a couple of guys like me who I could tell that they were happy to try and work to bring it back, but then some young bucks would like attack off the front, and you're like, fuck's sake, man. Because when they attack, like, you need to cover the attack, and then we're just attacking each other rather than making inroads on the breakaway. So yeah, the break stayed till the line, and yeah, like the last lap I was just like left on the front doing 200 watts into the headwind at less than 30k an hour. It's like, guys, what are we fucking doing here? So yeah, got swarmed a bit on the final lap, and so many riders came past me that I mean, I was making up ground in the sprint, but yeah, I was so far back that I wasn't going to make anything happen, because I tried. I attacked a lot during this race. I tried to make stuff happen. Ended up dragging the peloton with me a lot of the time, just because guys were on it, and they were on it with, they see an attack and then they snap on your wheel, and that's bike racing. Like, it's all well and good to say, oh, you need to attack and break free of the peloton, make sure no one's on your wheel, but when there's a lot of motivated riders who are looking around monitoring attacks happening, like, it's so easy for someone to get on your people get on your wheel, like a big field of 40 riders that are on it. Like, yeah, it happens. But yeah, tried to make stuff happen today, and I mean, I was in a lot of moves that didn't stick. I just end up missing the decisive one. So key is just keeping on going and getting in the decisive move, I guess. But yeah, like I say, rest of this week. It's only been about 16 hours, but yeah, back to trying to do a 20+ hour week next week. I should be doing a stage race at the end of the week, so that's going to be really spicy. But yeah, good evening, good day of racing that.